Hello and welcome to the School Home Connection. Today we're going to talk about what logical consequences are and why they're an effective way to discipline children. As a teacher, logical consequences are the main way that I manage undesired behaviors in the classroom, and I'm here to explain to you how you can use them to manage your child's undesired behaviors at home. Before we get into the strategies of how to implement logical consequences, let's first understand what logical consequences are and why they're so effective. Logical consequences are directly related to the undesired behavior, making the lesson more meaningful for the child. They're also often things that we as adults have to self-impose on ourselves, teaching your child responsibility along the way. So how can you use logical consequences to discipline your child? Here, I'm going to give you 3 strategies with some examples of how you can create and enforce logical consequences. If you still have questions afterwards, make sure to leave it in the comments. I'm going to read and respond to them all. The first strategy involves the ideas of proximity and privilege. Consider consequences that are directly related to the undesired behavior. For example, if your child fails to complete their homework assignment, a logical consequence might be a removal of screen time until they have completed their assignments. The proximity is the screen time likely caused your child to forget or just not do their homework. And the privilege is the use of screens at home. So identify the root of the issue and then remove that privilege until the correction has been made. These are consequences that we as adults have to self-impose on ourselves all the time. I love to play basketball and I love to play video games, but if my priorities of teaching and making these videos aren't in order, I have to be the one to stop myself from playing basketball or video games. The second strategy revolves around the idea of natural and logical consequences. These consequences are directly linked to the behavior and allow your child to experience the natural outcome of their actions. For instance, if your child consistently forgets to bring their lunch to school, a logical consequence might be to just let them feel that hunger and discomfort of missing that meal. It might seem harsh, but children need to learn from the natural consequences of their actions. These are things that we as adults have to deal with all the time. For example, if I stay up too late on a work night, I'm going to wake up with the natural consequence of feeling sluggish and tired. And I'm going to have to learn to change my sleeping habits so that I can make sure that I have enough energy throughout the whole day. Just as your child is going to have to learn to grab that lunch bag before school, that way they don't have to feel that hunger and discomfort throughout the day. Lastly, the third strategy encourages problem solving. Instead of immediately imposing a consequence, have a conversation with your child about the issue at hand. Encourage them to come up with their own logical consequences for their behavior. This approach helps them to develop critical thinking skills and take ownership of their actions. For example, say your child's room is a mess, clothes all over the floor. Have a conversation with them and say something like, "Hey, I've noticed that it's really tough to get around in your room with all these clothes everywhere. So let's figure out a solution for this problem together. Why do you think you leave your clothes all over the floor?" Your child might respond with something like, "I don't know, just being lazy or too tired." Explain to them that that's understandable. We all get that way sometimes, but you want to help them figure out a solution so that their room can be in a better order even when they might be feeling lazy or tired. Ask them what would help make the job easier for them so that even when they are feeling lazy or tired, their room can still be in a better order. You might have to guide them towards some answers that we use as adults, things like staying ahead so that it's only a few things we have to pick up at a time, or creating a checklist so that we know exactly what we need to do when so that things can stay organized. When your child takes ownership of creating the solution, they'll be more likely to follow through with that solution. Now, I want to leave you with 2 goals today to help make sure you're staying on track as you implement logical consequences. The first goal is to be consistent. To stay consistent, establish clear expectations and consequences for specific behaviors. For example, if your child is learning to ride a bike, discuss with them the natural consequences that come with riding a bike, things like falling off the bike or cars in the road. Also discuss with them logical consequences you will have if they break a rule, like going for a ride without letting you know where they're going. Be firm but fair in implementing these consequences. Secondly is to maintain open lines of communication with your child. Explain the reasons behind the consequences, listen to their thoughts and feelings, and provide guidance when need be. No consequence should be backed with the idea of "because I said so." Instead, be clear and exact about why you have these consequences in place. Consistency and communication are key to making logical consequences an effective and successful discipline approach. Again, if you have any questions or would like to learn more, make sure to leave it in the comments. I'm going to read and respond to all of your comments. Thank you so much for watching this School Home Connection video. If you found this video helpful, it would help me out a lot to leave a like below. Make sure to subscribe so that you can stay up to date with all School Home Connection videos that come out every single week. And if you have a question about this video or an idea for a future video, make sure to leave it in the comments. Thank you again for watching. I hope you have a great day. Keep learning, keep growing. Bye.